Sometimes, the strongest hearts are not won by power, but by the smallest act of kindness. A lion feared by an entire kingdom attacked anyone who came near. But when a poor little orphan girl quietly walked into his cage with nothing but a piece of dry bread, everyone thought she would die, until something unbelievable happened. In a distant kingdom surrounded by mountains and endless forests, there lived a lion unlike any other. His name was Ragnar, a massive golden lion whose roar could be heard across the valley. For years, people feared him as the most dangerous creature they had ever seen. Even the kingdom's strongest warriors failed to tame him. They brought chains, weapons, and trained hunters to control him. But every time someone came near his cage, Ragnar would growl fiercely and strike the ground with his powerful paws. His anger frightened everyone who saw him. Soon, the people stopped seeing him as a living creature. They only saw him as a monster. But in a small village outside the kingdom lived a little orphan girl named Lila. She had no wealth, no family, and no powerful friends. She survived by doing small tasks for the villagers and sharing whatever little food she had. Despite having almost nothing, Lila always believed that every living creature deserved kindness. One day, while walking near the palace, she heard people talking about Ragnar. "That lion has no heart," one man said. "Nothing can change him. He was born dangerous," another replied. But Lila wondered if there was more to his story. She noticed something others ignored. The lion was not always angry. Sometimes, when no one was watching, Ragnar would sit quietly in the corner of his cage, looking toward the forest as if he missed a life he once knew. Lila began to think that maybe the lion was not full of hatred. Maybe he was just lonely. The next morning, while the guards were bringing food to Ragnar, Lila followed them. In her small hands was a single piece of dry bread, the only food she had saved for herself. When the guards saw her approaching the cage, they immediately became afraid. "Lila, stop! Get away from there!" they shouted. "That lion will hurt you." But the little girl did not run. She slowly walked toward the cage and sat a few steps away from Ragnar. The giant lion opened his eyes and stared at her. The kingdom watched in fear as the small child faced the creature everyone believed was impossible to tame. Lila quietly held out the piece of bread. "I know everyone is afraid of you," she whispered. "But I don't think you are only anger." For a moment, everything became silent. Ragnar slowly stood up. The people stepped back, expecting the worst. But instead of attacking, the lion walked closer and gently took the bread from her hand. The crowd could not believe what they saw. The lion that had frightened hundreds of people accepted a gift from a child who had nothing. From that day on, Lila visited Ragnar every morning. She never forced him to change. She simply sat beside his cage and showed him kindness. Days turned into weeks. The impossible began to happen. Ragnar became calmer. He no longer roared at the guards. He stopped hitting the cage whenever people came near. And whenever he saw Lila, he would quietly walk toward her, waiting for her visit. The people began questioning everything they believed about him. Maybe Ragnar was never a monster. Maybe he was only a creature that had been hurt and misunderstood. However, one night, a group of hunters arrived at the kingdom. They wanted to capture Ragnar and use him as a prize because of his incredible size and strength. They entered the forest and surrounded the lion. When Lila heard what happened, she ran as fast as she could to find him. She saw Ragnar trapped between the hunters. The lion growled, but Lila stepped forward. "Ragnar," she said softly. "Remember, you are not what they think you are." The lion looked at the little girl who had been the only person to trust him. Slowly, he moved beside her. The hunters were shocked. They expected a wild beast, but they saw something different. They saw a lion protecting the one person who had shown him kindness when everyone else had turned away. The hunters finally lowered their weapons and left the forest. After that night, the kingdom changed forever. The people no longer called Ragnar a monster. They understood that behind his anger was a story they never tried to know. And Lila, the poor orphan girl who had nothing, became the person who changed an entire kingdom with one simple act of kindness. Years later, their story was told from generation to generation. People remembered the little girl who saw a heart where everyone else saw fear. Never judge someone only by their appearance or their past. Sometimes, the strongest anger hides a wounded heart that only needs patience, kindness, and understanding. If you were in Lila's place, would you have the courage to approach a creature everyone feared and show it kindness?